Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. Not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. I'm Elijah, and this is the program that you're listening to. This is not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. And it's found in Zechariah chapter 4, verse 6. But I suggest that you read Zechariah chapter 4, verses 4 through 6. Also, if you, about now, if you have this paper, copy this paper, and you're in the bonds of forever covenant, you know what to do next. Like the Lord God says, like in the time of Midian. That's how the battle should be. So hand out your 300 and get with it. All right. This is the book. Banned from the Bible, 3 books in one. I know a lot of y'all probably have the book by now. But if you don't start with the book of Hashir, read Hashir first, then Jubilee, and then Enoch, it's not going to do you no good at all. You got to read Hashir first, Jasher. Have to read that book first, because you go there and get to the book of Enoch, start reading the book of Enoch, man, you're going to throw that book on side, because you're not going to understand it. Just like people start reading the book of Revelation and they stop, because why? They don't understand it. But if you read the book of Hash and then go to the book of Jubilee, so by the time you get to the book of Enoch, well, you understand everything. You understand it. You know where you are in prophecy. You know where you are in the timeline. Then you can go to the book of Revelation and you'll understand it also. Well, all I can do is give it to you as the Lord God has given to me. I was listening to Les Felden this morning. He's a very old man. I don't know if he's still alive, but I know he's a very old man. And he has lost his hearing. So he was speaking this morning about Abraham and Isaac and how they went down in Egypt, and Abimelech and Sarah and Rebecca were fair-looking women, but he doesn't know anything about that. He doesn't, but he was there speaking on it. Now I used to listen to that man. I used to listen to him. But as you get back in the bonds to forever covenant, then you know that these people are missing, they're missing truth with half truths and attorneys. Because when you read the book of Hash, it tell you the full, the full story of it, almost, well, we're going to say almost the full story of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and where they come from, their journey, and why, the true reason why he went down in Egypt. And you know, that's a part of the test that the Lord God was trying him with. Also, with Isaac, same thing, you got to be tried. If you're not being tried, then it's not up to the Lord God. Just like these pastors and preachers, the Lord God told us, so I did it too. First seek you the kingdom of heaven, and then all these other things. Then first seek you the kingdom of heaven and its righteousness, and all these other things shall be added unto. But I didn't do that. As soon as the Lord God got me, and I started, I had that, I'm supposed to tell you that, I'll tell you that some other time. And as soon as I did all those things, next thing you know, I'm going to preach. Now, the Lord God didn't tell me to say, well, you go ahead on and preach now, or you go ahead on and teach now. He didn't tell me to do those things. I took that up on my own to go to church houses and go get educated into what theology. I took that up on my own. God didn't tell me to do that. He didn't. But anyway, so that's what's wrong with now. You have a lot of pastors and preachers and every teacher out there teaching those things, and God didn't send them. God said, I'm going to give you a message to give to all brethren. That's what he told me. And this is a message, not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, say Lord. So that's the message Lord God have given me to give to all brethren. Now, who are the brethren? So you should know. So let's go ahead and know I have 2 dreams for you. Let's deal with the dreams. Man, I dream, tell you, war. You're in war right now. War have already started, man. There's conflicts going on. But yeah, well, so this dream here, this dream that I had, this lawyer or attorney, see, they can start suing the DJs because they broke the contract when they start smoking in the booth. And that's all I can say. And so I see that, and then you know how when the Lord God tell you things, you see that vision. You see that vision. So when you say that, so I see the DJ smoking in the booth. One is holding up this white towel in the shape of Casper the ghost. You know, the top part is the head and the bottom part. I just say Casper Ghost, but the top part was round, the bottom part was straight down, and it's smoking something. So I could see the smoke and everything come out of the mouth, and he took the towel and held it up to me, and then he showed it to me. Yeah, but I tried to remember all those dreams, man. So many dreams, and yeah, well, um. There are so many dreams the Lord God has given. I've been trying to write them down, but it's a challenge to write them down. Man, it's a challenge to write them down. All right. Next day I was working. Oh man, I was dreaming warring over peanuts. So we was in this house. So we was in this house, and all of a sudden this door opened. And then a whole lot of nuts. We're gonna say nuts like peanuts. What do they call them nuts? No, they wasn't peanuts. They was I'm thinking of the name. Pistachios. A whole lot of pistachios came in through the back door and flew from the back door to the front door. So people started running behind all the men that was in the house. They started running behind the pistachio. But I had three of them. Three of them had fell on the ground, so I took up the three that was on the ground. It was already shelled and everything, so I ate them. So when I ate them, the other men looked at me. So we go out the back door. Now me and them start warring, start fighting behind me eating those pistachios. So we go out the back door. So after we go out the back door, man, we still fighting. So we go down the back door. So I'm sliding down like a pipe or something, or stairs, something like that. So I slide down. So the other man, he takes out a machete, and the machete is still in this black case. So he takes that out, but it doesn't look like a machete. It looks more like of a sword. Yeah, a crooked sword. That would look more. And so he starts swinging it, but I see a stick. Not a large stick. I see a stick on the side, look like a mop stick, something like that. So I take that stick, the handle of a plunger, the stick handle plunger. It was long, but it couldn't be no more than let's say 4 feet. And so when he start swinging his sword, the sword or the knife, when he start swinging, so I take that stick, so I start hitting him with that stick. So I took the sword out of his hand, I took that knife out of his hand. So after I took the knife out of his hand, then I woke up from the dream. So that's the 2 dreams. That's 2 dreams for now. So I was looking for the COVID dream, but I don't think but I did read your dream where the helicopter was going, that somebody took over the helicopter and made it crash. So I did read you that dream. So let's go. Yeah, because these things are happening. People don't understand that the Lord God give me dreams and things. And the dream, he might have given me that dream when last year sometime, and I was just reading one of the dreams that I've been writing. That dream over 2 years old. Then they have other dreams over 3 years old. And I'm reading today of Shaq dream, COVID dream. I don't know if I have a COVID dream, but I might have one Brian dream. So, but so let's go. Let's get with it. All right, we was into this book. We was in the book of Adam and Eve. Now I was telling you about the darkness and what the darkness is, darkness of Satan. And the Lord God said, if the man have darkness, then how great is that darkness? The darkness is a light too. It's a dark light, and that be in the people. All right. Well, let's see. Isaiah chapter 30. Woe unto the rebellious children that said the Lord, that take counsel but not of me, that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. They walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore should the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. For his prince were as Zoan, and the bastard came from Hanes. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be it help nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach. The burden of the beasts of the south into the land of trouble and anguish, from whence come the young and old lion, the viper and the fiery flying serpent. They will carry their riches upon the shoulders of your young asses, and their treasure upon the bunches of camels, to a people that should not profit them. For the Egyptians should help in vain to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this, their strength is to sit still. Now go write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that would not hear the law of the Lord, will say to the seas, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. And that's what they're doing. Oh yeah, that's what they're doing. Get out of the way, turn aside out the paths, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore thus said the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stare thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out from high wall, whose breaking comes suddenly in an instant, and it shall break it as the breaking of a potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there should not be found in the bursting of it a shard to take fire from the hearth, or to take water withal out of the pit. For thus saith the Lord God, the Holy One of Israel, and return and rest shall be saved, and quietness and the confidence shall be your strength, and you will not. But you say, no, for we will flee upon horses, therefore shall ye flee. And we will ride upon the swift, therefore shall they that pursue you be swift. 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one, and at the rebuke of 5 shall you flee, till you be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain, as an ensign on a hill. And therefore will the Lord wait, that he may be gracious unto you. Therefore will he be exalted, that he may have mercy upon you. For the Lord is the God of judgment, and blessed are all those that wait for him. For the Lord is a God of judgment. Blessed are all that wait for him. For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem. They shall weep no more. He will be very gracious unto thee at the voice of the cry. When he shall hear it, he will answer thee. Let me stop right there. Let's see what it say. Yeah. And say, therefore will the Lord wait, that he may be gracious unto you. Therefore will he be exalted, that he may have mercy upon you. For the Lord is a God of judgment. Blessed are all those that wait for him. And these people over there in that land, over there on that piece of dirt they call Israel, it's a piece of dirt, man. What the Lord God tell us to do, Israel, his people, to wait for him. Don't do nothing away from him. That was the people trying to rile you up and get you to start that marching, that protest and everything. Let them do that. You of the Lord got God. You the saint of God. You know, when you go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and read the blessing and the curses that the Lord has left for us, and they tell us what to do, man. We're not supposed to be out there with all that foolishness, man. With all that marching and voting and all that, man. Has anything, you done all these things, has anything changed for you? And it's not going to change for you, man. All that is the design plan to keep you in bondage. And I have read that to you. I have read that to you in the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs. One of our fathers left that for us. Okay, well, let me see. Let me get finished this and maybe we'll go there. For the people shall dwell in Zion at Jerusalem, shall weep no more. He will be very gracious unto thee at the voice of thy cry. When he shall hear it, he will answer thee. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thy eyes shall see thy teachers, and thy ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way, walk you in it when you turn to to the right hand, when you turn to the left. Uh, I'll stop there again. I don't know if I'll get to the other one. But this is not when I first got there. After a while, after the Lord God had tried me in so many things, and the next thing you know, man, I hear that voice behind me. Yeah, it's just like this. The voice said just like that. And that is, and that is in the ears you hear a word behind it. And I heard behind me saying, this is the way, walk you in it when you turn to the right hand or when you turn to the left. Just like that, I heard that voice. And I just kept with it. You should defile also the covering of thy graven image of silver and the ornaments of thy molten image of gold. Thou shalt cast them away as a minister's cloth. Thou shalt say unto it, get thee hence. And that's why I did. I took all that stuff, all them stuffed animals and all that memorabilia and all that stuff I've been saving for years. And they have a monetary. I took that stuff and burned that stuff. Yeah, I took it out and burned it all of it, pictures and everything. I know it was worth something, but worth something. What is it worth, man? Come on, man, that stuff ain't worth nothing. When the time comes, and it is now, man, and drought and famine and stuff, all of the people over there right there now, with that plague they have over there, one of the plagues they have over there in China. And them people don't have nothing. You think them people, that money can't help them? All that silver and gold, all that stuff they have in the house, that cannot help them. And that's why the Lord God keep telling you, oh man, get rid of all that stuff out your house and that stuff can't help you. Then you should give rain of thy seed, and thou shalt sow the ground withal, and bread the increase of the earth, and it shall be fat and plenteous. In the day shall the cattle feed in the Lord's pasture. The oxen likewise, and the young ass that the ear, the ground should eat and clean provider. For vendor, which have been renowned with the shovel and with the fan. And there shall be upon every high mountain, on every high hill, rivers and streams of water in the day of the great slaughter, when the towers fall, and they don't fall. Yeah, they was talking about them twin towers. No, this is another, these are the true towers that's gonna fall. Well, you got two towers. You got Jerusalem tower, and you got the tower over there, the Vatican tower. They're going to fall, watch. Moreover, the light of the moon should be as the light of the sun. The light of the sun should be sevenfold. And there's, you see what it says? Moreover, the light of the moon should be as the light of the sun. And the light of the sun should be sevenfold, and the light of 7 days in the day of the Lord, binding up the breach of his people and heal the stroke of their wounds. So when you go to this book here, the Testament of 12 Patriarchs, and you go read through our father Judah, well, our father Judah had left us. And he told us, say, man, Father Judah left us, he said, until the Lord visits you with a perfect heart, and you repent and walk in all his commandments, should bring you up from the captivity among the Gentiles. So when this is going to happen, when the Lord, when we are together as one, our sovereignty, nation, race, and kindred and tongue get back together, this was going to happen. When the Lord God come and bring us back where? To our holy mountain, man. Read this book. When you read the book of Adam and Eve, it tell you about our holy mountain and how our fathers and we was up there praying on our holy mountain before we was deceived. That's what it tells us. And this is what the Lord God said when he come back to get us. When you read this right here, Testament 12, Patriarch, then you go to page 75. Let me see, 75, page 75. Who this is? Let's see, I think this is the book of Dan. Let me see. Page 75, this is the book of Dan. And Dan tell us, our father Dan tell us, for we know that on the day in which Israel shall repent, the kingdom of the enemy shall be brought to an end. And all that's just lined up. This is the Holy Bible I'm reading. This is God's word I'm reading. This is where the Holy Bible comes from, man. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Now all I can do is tell you what's going to happen. Say, moreover, the light of the moon should be as the light of the sun. The light of the sun should be sevenfold. And the light of 7 days, and the Lord bind up the breach of his people and heal the stroke of their wound. And another thing, man, I done seen, I've read that dream before. With a dream, I showed you that we was out at night, and boy, that moon was like the sun. Yeah. Well, yeah, I done read that dream to you before. Right? Well, moreover, the name of the Lord coming from far, burning with his anger. See, the Lord is angry. And they say, oh, God is not angry, but that's a lie. God get mad, God get angry. See, the Lord coming from far, burning with his anger, and the burden thereof is heavy. His lips are full of indignation, and his tongue as a devouring fire. His breath is an overflowing stream, and shall reach to the midst of the neck, shall sift the nation with the sieves of vanity, and they shall be a bridle in the jaws of the people, causing them to err. And that's what happened now. Yeah, your vanity and all that is causing you to err. And these people preach it. Man, I looked in those church houses, and when you look in these church houses, and you look at those pastors, preachers, teachers, whatever, and look in the audience and see that everybody look just like their pastor. You see? Go ahead. Well, go look at it. You shall have a song. Well, and then it says it shall be a bridle in the jaws of people, causing them to err. And are they doing this? Or have you read this? You see Deuteronomy chapter 28. Are they doing that? Come on, man. People that taught you to do everything but the same. To go read Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 15. See why these people are not teaching you the truth and causing you to err. You should have a song in the night when the holy solemnity is kept. The gladness of the heart when one goeth with a pipe to come into the mountain of the Lord, the mighty one of Israel. See that? And you should have a song in the night when the holy solemnity is kept. And the gladness of a heart as when one cometh with a pipe to come into the mountain of the Lord, the mighty one of Israel. And the Lord shall cause his glorious voice to be heard, and shall show the lightning down of his arm, that with the indignation of his anger, with the flame of a devouring fire, with the scattering tempest of hailstones. All that's coming on you, man. Man, is that gonna come on you, bro? Yeah. Well, I guess I can tell you this dream. I'll tell you this dream. Nah. It was more. It was like a vision. Cause I had visions and I had dreams. So in the vision, I didn't even know it was me. In the vision, boy, I see this light coming. Boy, I can see a light coming from heaven all the way down to the earth. And I watch it coming, and it goes same thing from heaven all the way down to earth. Then it got to me, boy, and that light hit me. Whoop! And it was the Lord. Boy, the Lord took me and bowed me and took that fire, boy, and took it and put it in my mouth. But I didn't know it was me. I thought it was somebody else. I didn't even recognize me. And took that fire and put it in my mouth. I said, that's good for you. Just like that. And it was me that he put that fire. He had bowed me and put that fire in the mouth. Oh, boy. And I realized that was me that he was doing that to. But I didn't know because I was looking at it as a vision. And so I thought it was somebody else, but it was me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a good dream. After I found out. But I thought he was doing that to somebody else, but it was me that he was doing it to. For though the voice of the Lord shall the Assyrians be beaten down with smote with a rod, in every place where the ground staff shall pass, which the Lord shall lay upon him, it shall be with tabrets in the heart, and the battles are shaken where he fight with it. For Tob is ordained of old, yea, for the kingdom is prepared. He hath made it deep and large, the power thereof fire and much wood. The breath of the Lord like a stream of brimstone do kindle it. So that's the law of God. See, yeah. Woe unto you, chapter 31. I'll read this. Chapter 31. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay upon horse and trust in charity, because they are many, and the horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil, will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers, against the help of them that work iniquity. Now the Egyptians are men and not God, their horses are flesh and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that hopeth shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. For thus had the Lord spoken unto me, like a lion and a young lion roaring on his prey, when a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him. He will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself from the noise of them. So shall the Lord of hosts come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof. As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also he will deliver it, and passing over it he will preserve it. Turn ye unto him from whom the children of Israel have deeply revolted. And that's what that's up. We have revolted. Turn ye unto him from whom the children of Israel have deeply revolted. For in the day every man should cast away his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which your own hands have made unto you for a sin. Then shall the Assyrian fall with the sword, not of a mighty man, and the sword not of a mean man shall devour him. But he shall flee from the sword, and his young men shall be discomfited. So that's then shall the Assyrian fall with the sword, not of a mighty man, and the sword not of a mean man shall devour him. But he shall flee from the sword, and his young men shall be discomfited. And he shall pass over to the stronghold for fear, and his prince shall be afraid of the inside, say the Lord, whose fire is in Zion, and his furnace in Jerusalem. So that's the law of God, man. That's those things coming up on it. Something that happened, something that came to pass. And Lord God use our own bridges to travel. That was King Solomon said. He said, God used a man's own bridges to trap himself. And so now they have made these machines. I'm not saying one, and where it come from. Come from Israel, come from that piece of dirt, Israel. Man, they're doing all type of wicked and evil things and going all against the contrary of the word of the Lord. Lord God didn't tell us to do anything. So when you go back and look at these indigenous people and these people that still live in these jungles and forests and everything, and they still living the same way that they was living so many years, and you go there, well, you can't do it no more, but you used to go there and find these things like they were before in the ecosystem, but they're destroying all that. So now these people that made this machine to take moisture out the air. So what's going to happen when you take all the moisture out the air? It's not going to rain. It's not going to do nothing. And this in Israel, these people doing all type of wicked things. Just like I told you, they had to make these laser weapons. I told you, man, they had to make these laser weapons. Cannons, and then I told you the beasts had made, and when I first came to Christ, that's just like what this man Kobe Bryant, he was born in what, 1978. That was 40 years, 41 years ago. But so we know that the 40 years are up. 1978 started the 40 years, the last 40 years of Israel, because it was 70 years in whole, and that started when 1947. Okay, well, I'm just giving it to you as the Lord God. We said 1948, and I thought so too, but like the Lord God showed me, it started in 47. Because you got to remember that they had to have a time for them to gather together and get councils and all that together before they can bring that vote about. So you have to count that in. So the Lord God showed me that it started in 1947. So, but the hammer and the paper was really did really in 1948. So let's go. So, but we know that the 40 years are up. We know that the 400 years are up. We know that the 390 years are up. We know all these things. Well, I'm saying we know that I'm saying years, but we said, the Lord God said, we know that the 390 days are up. We know that the 70 days are up. We know that the 40 days are up. So I can put it that way. So, but we know that each day is as a year. All right, let me see if I can find this last one, because Lord God told you, say, not by might, not by power, but by my spirit. So this is the book of the 12 Patriots, this one by Robert H. Shaw. And so I look at the commercials, because this is how these people do it. That was that television about keeping you deceived. So now you see a lot of commercials on television. They promoting men playing with their children like that's what the prophecy. No, that prophecy don't say that. He says he's going to turn the hearts of the children back to their fathers, and the fathers' hearts back to the children. They ain't talking about you see the men out there playing ball with their children. No. Now, who are the fathers? Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. Dan and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher, and Joseph. Those are our fathers, and man, they left us everything. See this right here? The Testament of 12. They left us everything. So those are our fathers, and that's what the Lord God tells us. He turned the children's hearts back to their fathers, and the fathers' heart back to their children, and that's what this is about. So man, you go in there and just keep on messing with those people and thinking these people are for your good. You're living in the land of the heathen. You're still in captivity. All right, well, all I can do is give it to you like the Lord God has given it unto me. And you just keep on and keep on being hard-headed. And then what you're stubborn, that's what the Lord God said. They're stubborn, stiff-necked, and rebellious. They have the heart of an Adam stone. He talking about us. That's right, man. We talk about you go and sit in those church house, synagogue, sanctuary, and know that something is wrong. You know it's something is wrong. You can feel it in your bones, but you still say, I'm going to have faith. I'm going to stick with this. And it's killing you. It's killing you. Okay? Well, you calling on the Lord God and he's not showing up. Put it that way. All right? Well, all I can do is give it to you like the Lord God has given it unto me. And you just keep on sticking with that. And the Lord God tell you, come out of my people. Be not partake of our sins. All right, well, okay, all right. All right, let's go. We're going to the book of Zebulun. See, the Testament right here, 12 page. We're going to the book, the Testament of Zebulun. The Testament of Zebulun. You say the sixth son of Jacob and Leah. The copy of the words of Zebulun which he endured on his sons before he died in the 114th year of his life, 2 years after the death of Joseph. And he said to them, hearken to me, sons of Zebulun, and tend to the words of your father. Zebulun was born a good gift to my parents, for I was born. My father was increased very exceedingly, both in flocks and herd, and with the stalk rise, and he had his portion. So we know, you know what about the rise. The rise when he took the rise and he told him all the animals that come out strike was his. So that was just what I'm talking about. The Bible come from somewhere. This is where the Bible come from, man. Come on, bro. And I am not conscious that I have sinned all my days, save in thought. Not yet do I remember that I have done any iniquity except the sin of ignorance which I committed against Joseph. For I covenanted with my brothers not to tell my father what had been done. But I wept in secret many days on account of Joseph. For I feared my brothers because they had all agreed if anyone should declare the secret, he should be slain. But when they wished to kill me, I adjured them much with tears and not to be guilty of sin. For Simeon and Gad came against Joseph to kill him, and said unto him with tears, pity me not, my brother. Have mercy upon my bowels of Jacob our father. Lay not upon your hands to shed innocent blood, for I have not sinned against you. And if indeed I have sinned, with chasten and chastise me, my brother, but lay not upon me your hands for the sake of Jacob our father. And as he spoke these words, wailing as he did, so I was unable to bear his limitation, began to weep, and my liver was poured out, and all the substance of my bowels was loose. And I wept with Joseph, my heart sounded, and the joints of my body trembled, and I was not able to stand. When Joseph saw me weeping with him, and with the coming against him slay him, he fled behind me, beseeching him. But meanwhile, Reuben rose and said, come, my brother, let us not slay him, but let us cast him into one of these dry pits which our fathers dug and found no water. For this cause the Lord forbid the waters shall rise up in them, in order that Joseph should be preserved. You see? So when you go to these books here, when you go to this book here, and Not by might, not by power, but by my spirit. Banned from the Bible. When you go to ban from the Bible, and when you go to ban from the Bible, you go in deep in the story. Job will tell you what happened to him while he was down in that hole. But I don't want to tell you. See, I hate to do this because I don't want to take away your aha moments. Because you know the truth, man. The truth, man, it's a beautiful thing to read it up on your own and know it on yourself. But you got these things they already been birthed and they already have been taken root. So man, go get these books and learn the truth, man. Stop listen to these pastors and preachers telling, speaking lies to you and speaking smooth things unto you and causing you to err from the Lord, because this is going to be over with. This like I'm telling you now today, one day this going to end. And boy, when it ends, oh, man, you better hope that you be in the binds of forever covenant. When you no longer, when this end, man, you don't. All right, well, that's on you. For this cause the Lord forbid the waters should rise up in them, in order that Joseph should be preserved. And they did so until they sold him into the Ishmaelite. For in this price I had no share, my children. But Simeon and Gad and 6 other of our brethren took the price of Joseph and bought sandals of themselves and their wives and their children, saying, we will not eat of it, for it's the price of our brother's blood, but we will surely trade under the foot, because he said he would be king over us. And so let's see whether he would become of what would become of his dreams. Therefore, it is written in writing of the law of Moses, wherefore would I not raise up a seed to his brother, his sandals should be loose, and they should spit into his face. And the brethren of Joseph wished not that their brother should live, and they loose from the sandal which they wore against Joseph and his brother. For when they came into Egypt, they was unloosed by the servants of Joseph outside the gate. So they made obsequies to Joseph after the fashion of the king of Pharaoh. Not only did he make obsequies to him, but was spit upon also, falling down before him forthwith. So they put to shame before the Egyptians, after the Egyptians heard all the evil what they had done to Joseph. And after we was sold, my brother sat down to eat and drink. After he was sold, my brother sat down to eat and drink. But I, through the pity for Joseph, did not eat, but watched in the pit. Since Judah feared lest Simeon and Dan and Gad should rush off and slay him. But when they saw that I would not eat, they set me to watch him till he was sold to the Ishmaelites. And when Reuben came and heard that while he was away Joseph had been sold, he rent his garment and mourned and said, how shall I look on the face of my father Jacob, and take the money and run after the merchants, and fail to find them, return and grieve? But the merchants had left a broad road and marched through the troglodytes by a shortcut. But Reuben was grieved and ate no food that day. And Dan therefore came to him and said, weep not, neither grieve, for we have found what we could say to our father Joseph. Let us slay a kid of a goat and dip in the coat of Joseph, and let us send it to Jacob. Knowing this coat of thy son, they did so, for they stripped off from Joseph the coat when they was selling him, and put upon his garment of slave. Now Simeon took the coat and would not give it up, for he wished to rend it with the sword, and he was angry that Joseph lived and that he had not slain him. Then we all rose up and said unto him, if thou givest not up the coat, we will say to our father that thou alone did this evil thing in Israel. So they gave it to him, and they did even as Dan said. Now, my children, I bid you to keep the commands of the Lord, and show mercy of your neighbors, and have compassion towards all, not towards men only, but also towards beasts. For these things' sake the Lord blessed me, and when all the brethren was sick, I escaped out of the sickness. For the Lord knoweth the purpose of each. I have therefore compassion in your hearts. Therefore compassion in your hearts, my children, because even a man do it to his neighbor, even so will the Lord do it to him. Now you gotta understand, it says, even so as a man do to his neighbor, so the Lord God would do unto him. And that's why one of the reasons why all these plagues and that, because the way they have done us, the way they have treated us all over the world, all these years, now it's going to happen to them. I'm just telling you, that's what it says right here. Yeah. It said, therefore, compassion holds my children, because even as a man do it to his neighbor, even so will the Lord do it to him. See? And that's coming on these people. Just finished reading that to you. In Isaiah chapter 30, what's going to happen. All right. For the sons of my brother were sick and were dying on account of Job, because they showed not mercy to their home. But my sons were preserved without sickness, as you know. And when I was in the land of Canaan by the sea coast, I made a catch of fish for Jacob my father, which many was choked in the sea, and I continued unhurt. I was the first to make a boat to sail upon the sea, for the Lord gave me understanding and wisdom therein. And I let down the rudder behind it, and I stretched the sail upon another upright piece of wood in the midst. And I sailed there along the shores, catching the fish for the house of my father until we came into Egypt. And through compassion I shared my catch with every stranger. And if a man was strange or sick or aged, I borrowed a fish, dressed him well, and offered unto all men. Every man had need, grieving them with all heaven compassion unto them. Wherefore the Lord satisfied me with abundance of fish when catching fish, for he that shared with his neighbor received manifold more from the Lord. For 5 years I caught fish and gave thereof to every man whom I saw, and sacrificed all for the house of my father. In the summer I caught fish, in the winter I kept sheep with my brother. So that's written. That's what he did. So now let me see how much time is going on. I got 4 minutes, so I'm going to have to skip. I'm going to have to skip. So we're going to skip one. We're going to go to V118. That's on page 69. Have therefore yourself, my children, compassion towards every man with mercy, that the Lord also may have compassion, mercy upon you. Because also in the last days God will send his compassion on earth, and whosoever he findeth that bowels of mercy dwelleth in them. For in the degree in which a man have compassion upon his neighbor, in the same degree the Lord shall also upon him. And when we went down to Egypt, Joseph bore no malice against us. To whom taking heed, do you also, my children, approve yourself without malice, and love one another. And do not set down and count of each one of you evil against his brother. For this breaketh unity, and divided all kind of troubles to the soul, and weareth away the conscience. Observe therefore the waters, and know how they flow together, sweep along stones, trees, and other things. But if they are divided into many streams, and the earth swallows them up, and they become no account. Now, let me stop right there. And so that's what they have done. They then took Israel, God's chosen people, and what they had divided into. They divided into the Catholic, they divided into Pentecostal, they divided into Jehovah's Witness, they divided, Seventh-day Adventists, Church of God. That's what they have divided you into, all these things, and you have no strength. Now all you got to do is repent with your whole heart, keep all God's commandments, come back in the bonds of the forever covenant. What is that? Man, go and run and pray unto the Lord. Lord God didn't tell you to go into these church houses and buildings and do all those things. He didn't tell you to do that. The Lord God says, serve me. All right, well, he says, seek me with all your heart. And I wasn't doing that. I wasn't seeking God, because I was doing as I was taught by these heathen. And my enemies would taught me, when you leave this house, say that you're going to find another house. And that was the pastor, preacher, and gatekeepers telling me. So when you leave out this building and get away from you, move somewhere else, well, make sure you find another church house around you. Make sure you stay in bind in one of these prison houses. That was a church house. It's a prison house. All right, all I can do is give it to you. And that's how we have been divided. Let's just say other thing. But if they are divided to ministry and the earth swallow them up, that they become of no account. And that's what we have become. They have to swallow us with no account. Them people don't care about what you say, do, vote, or whatever. Have anything changed? Yeah, I done the same thing. I voted, got educated, did all those things. And guess what? Nothing changed. Nothing changed. But when I got back in the bonds of forever covenant and started keeping all God's commandments, things started changing. All right, I'll do is give it to you like it be. Be not you therefore divided into two heads, for every which the Lord made have but one head, the two shoulders, two heads, 2 hands, 2 feet, but all the remaining members. But ye therefore be divided into two heads. So we said, so shall you be also if you be divided. Be not ye therefore divided into two heads, and you are divided into two heads. Yes, you are, you divided into two heads. You have the Vatican, who owns everything, one side, and those who say they are Jews, they own everything else. Come on, man. That's how you are. You are divided. All right, well, I mean, that's all I can give it to you. If the Lord God didn't give it to you, then that's on you. That means that you're not doing what thus saith the Lord. For I have learned the writing of my father that you should be divided in Israel. You should follow 2 kings. See? You should work every abomination. Your enemies shall lead you captives, and you should be evil. Let's see. Your enemies shall lead you captive, and you should be evil entreated among the Gentiles, with many infirmities and tribulation. Now, is that not happening? And only two, and I love to say you should be died and you should follow 2 kings. What 2 kings are you following? I hope it's not Democrat and Republican. Because the Lord God said Democrat, that's what he told me in a dream. Democrat or Republican, both are the broad way. That's what it said. Them people got a conspiracy. You ain't cahoots, they in cahoots together. Ain't nothing gonna change. You've been voting those ways. What you gonna vote? Democrat did it too. Voted out that Democrat thing, things didn't change. Now if I change over to Republican, was that gonna make anything change? No. It's not gonna make nothing change. Because the Lord God didn't tell you to do that. The Lord God told you first seek the kingdom of heaven and this righteousness and all these other things. Right? And the Lord God told you, seek me with all your heart, then you shall find me. The Lord God said, keep my holy covenant. Deuteronomy chapter 28. But you're not doing these things. You serving the stone, wood, gold, silver, ivory, brass. I did it too. I did it too. I'm not telling you nothing I didn't do. That's how I can tell you right now what not to do. What you are doing, and it's wrong. You're in this church house, these people teaching you how to run behind vanities. They're not teaching you how to humble yourself, pray in the morning before the sun rises and burn incense. They're not teaching you in the evening time, burn incense and pray. They're not telling you at night when you're on your bed, meditate to the Lord, pray. They're not telling you to seek out his precept. They're not telling you that the Lord God had words, and all his words are not just found in the Holy Bible. They're not teaching and telling you that the Holy Bible had been abridged. That Jason got with Constantine, Tyrus, Tyrus. And that's how they made this plan and conspiracy together and divided you into 2 heads. Well, let's read this again. You should be divided in Israel. You should follow 2 kings. You should work every abomination, and your enemies shall lead you captives. And you should be even treated among the Gentiles with many infirmities and tribulations. All those things happen. But now let's read the outcome. And he told you, I was saying Elijah before the great and dreadful day shall do what? Turn the hearts of the children back to what? Their fathers, and the father hearts to the children. So who are the fathers? Now this here is the brethren. Who are the fathers? Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, the brethren, Dan and Nephilah, Gad, Nash, Joseph. Those are our fathers. And once you read the Lord God's scriptures and testimony, our father's testimony, then you know what the truth is and what isn't the truth. Well, let's finish reading. After these things, you shall remember the Lord and repent. See? That's where the stage we are now. We remember the Lord and we're going to repent. 144,000 will be gathering right now as I'm speaking. And once the 144,000 are gathered, oh, man. All right. And you shall have mercy, and he shall have mercy upon you, for he is merciful and compassionate. And he set it down in account of evil. Look, he set it not down in account of evil against the sons of men. See? because they are flesh and they are deceived through their own wicked deeds. Here, because they are flesh and they are deceived through their own wicked deeds. And after these things shall there arise unto you the Lord himself in the light of righteousness, and you shall return unto your own land. See, are you in your own land? No. Why? Because we haven't repented with our whole heart. We have become a nation, sovereign. When you start getting out these church houses, synagogues, sanctuary, high temples, tabernacle. I'm just not talking about Israel is always scattered all through the earth. We are in every nation, kindred, and tongue. And you know who you are. Man, get out them church houses, tabernacles, synagogue, high places, cathedrals, sanctuaries. Man, get out of those places and serve the Lord your God yourself. Get back, and that will kill, man. Father Adam wasn't running through those things. He wasn't running to building those things, man. Father Adam, that Cain them had already built builders and everything down there. But we was on top of Mount what? Sacrifice and offering praise unto the Lord our God on our holy mountain. That's where we was at. Praying, trying to get back our bright nature again. And going back into our garden. And this was all it's about. All right, well. After these things shall rise unto the Lord himself, the light of righteousness. He shall return unto you your own land, and you shall see him in Jerusalem for his name's sake. And again, through the wickedness of your works, you shall provoke him to anger, and he shall be cast you away. This is where we at. And you shall be cast away by him until the time of the consummation. And this is the time that you are in now. You are in the time of the consummation. That's right. And now, my children, grieve not that I am dying, nor be cast down that I am coming to my end. For I shall rise in the midst of you as a ruler in the midst of his sons. I shall rejoice in the midst of my tribe, as many shall keep the law of the Lord. See, them 10 commandments. All of them. All of them. Not just the 9, all 10 of them. All right. Let's keep the law of the Lord, and the commandments of Zebulun their father, but upon the ungodly shall the Lord bring eternal fire and destroy them throughout all generations. See? Eternal fire and destroy them throughout all generations. But I am now hastening away to my rest, as did also my father. Do you fear the Lord our God with all your strength all the days of your life? And when he had said these things, he fell asleep at a good old age. His sons laid him in a wooden coffin afterward and carried him up and buried in Hebron with his fathers. So all I can do is give it to you like the Lord God has given it to me. And I'm telling you, go there, read about your father. All your fathers left you what? Warnings, exhortation, what was going to happen to us. We was going to go in captivity, how we was going to get out of captivity, and what's going to happen the day that we come out of captivity. All these things are going to happen. All right. You don't want to get caught up in this tribulation that's coming. All right. Well, like I say, you got within 3 years. Within 3 years. So this is not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit. Says one more thing before I go. I had a discussion with a woman this morning. And she was telling me how time has speeded up. And I told you, man, during the last crisis when they had when gas had shot up so many dollars per gallon, that's been a while ago. But the Lord God came and all about and told me, say he had speeded up he had speeded up time 10 years. And so that was then. So no telling how fast time. And I also was telling about I was listening to one of the apostles. I can't remember what one is on YouTube, and he told him, say, because we think that 3 days of darkness are 3 days, but 3 days of darkness are 3 years. And I read that, and I have read that dream to you. And he told you, say, I'm gonna make 3 years feel like 3 months, and I'll make 3 months feel like 3 days, and 3 days seem like 3 hours or 3 minutes. I can't remember exactly, but I know that it's 3 years, and that how fast he's gonna make those years feel pass by during the time of darkness. Because you're gonna have people that are gonna be caught up in the tribulation. Because you gotta remember, They had 10 virgins. 5 had oil and 5 did not. Because 5, you're going to have 5 that's going to take the whole message, understand the whole message. They're going to understand that they have to humble themselves before the throne of grace, call on the holy name, Lord God, Jesus' name, repent with their whole heart, keep all his commandments, and enter back in the bonds of forever covenants, found in Deuteronomy chapter 28. In Jubilees, the 2nd chapter of Jubilees, or Jubilees chapter 50. So let me keep going. And they're going to be baptized. You got to be baptized in Jesus' name to what? To receive the learn what? The Spirit, the Holy Ghost. And those things, you got to have all that. You have to be born again. Born again in the Spirit. Just like when Lord God was telling Nicodemus, see, how could a man be born again? So, yes, he can be born again. That has happened unto me also. So this is not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, see the Lord of hosts. I'm Elijah. Until next time.